Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to Shamanic Living. I'm Felicia Armstrong, and I'm here monthly to help enrich your life with spiritual practices that I utilize every day. I will discuss how you can live a life more in tune with nature and the spirit world. If you've been listening and like what you're hearing, please rate, review, and subscribe, and also tell a friend.
Potential, the best
So happy almost summer solstice.
We have the
This year, the solstice falls on Sunday, June 20th. This nature holiday is also known as Midsummer or Litha and marks the longest day and shortest night of the year. So our focus here is on the sun, the peak of abundance in the natural world. The sun is such a powerful symbol of life. It helps us to remember gratitude and our own inner power.
Felicia Armstrong.
It is a life giver to us and to all the plant and animal life that nourishes us.
To our everyday contemporary
This is a great time to get reconnected to the
different
earth.
aspects of shamanism.
So for today, I wanted to talk about the land where you
along with
live.
guided shamanic journeys
We
and
all live in
meditations.
places that were once inhabited by someone else.
And this
Places that hold energy. I'm wondering if you have ever lived anywhere that had an energy to it. Maybe you could feel someone or something living alongside with you. Maybe it was comforting and nice, or maybe it was challenging and more of a negative energy. Maybe you've even experienced a haunting or a spirit that wasn't great to live side by side with. Many of us have had an experience at least once in our lives of living in or visiting a space that held a darker energy. I've lived through this myself. And I've always thought deeply about how little most of us think about the energy of the land that we live on, where our homes and businesses are built. I've done space clearings for a long time as a part of my spiritual offerings. I've worked with people that have had all kinds of negative things scaring them in their homes and businesses. And because I work in a shamanic way, I get to go to the root. I get to see what's not only in the structure of a space, but what's happening with the land. Because most of the time it emanates from the land. Every piece of land has energy. There's elemental spirits, spirits of plants, the elements, earth, fire, air, water, and possibly spirits that have once lived where we do now. It's a lot of energy to think about, but it does affect us. From an energetic standpoint, the earth is also full of portals, or places where the veil between the realms of spirit and our physical world are just thinner. These can be outdoors, but also in the middle of a house, because portals still exist, even if a house is built over them. And we are not in a society that really thinks about this. We just kind of build wherever we feel called to. Portals create a doorway for spirit energy. They become a problem when we're not aware of them and denser spirits move through them. We also have history, which makes it so that a lot of places that we live have been sites of gruesome battles and suffering. It's unfortunately a part of life, but these energies stick around and can cause issues for us. I really want to bring awareness to this, how where we live affects us, and most importantly, that with reverence, we can shift so much. Like I said, it can be a lot to think about, but my hope is that through this episode today, you can really get a feel of how to form a more positive and loving relationship to where you live. So I have had paranormal experiences probably at every single place I've ever lived, especially when I was younger. Some were beautiful and some were definitely not. And I always thought this was because of my own sensitivity. And while that's absolutely true, I also realized it's because something else was going on. Later in my life, I learned that the paranormal experiences I had were dependent on many factors. First, I learned that a lot of the time, it's the people that now live in a space that draw out certain energy. When there's a lot of negative energy and imbalance within the people of a space, there's a greater chance to draw out negative energy. Being around tough energy when I was young kind of enriched those heavier energies where I lived. It's truly a simple like attracts like. When I got older, the experiences were not negative because I learned boundaries and created a sanctuary out of the places I lived in. Secondly, the land that we inhabit has energy, all of it. It's not limited to cabins out in the woods. A convenience store still stands upon land, and all of that land at some point has been inhabited with human or spirit energy. So taking the time to honor the land will promote positive energy. Working with the spirit of the land itself. Yes, every space has spirit attached to it. So get connected to where you live. Creating a harmonious relationship with the energy of where you live will allow you to be healthier, happier, and more abundant. And this stems to everybody within a space. I think humanity tends to forget about energy. Just think about how we clean our houses. We also need to clean our energy and the energy of our spaces. As we beautify our spaces, we need to also be thinking about that space's energy. It's simple. I recently stayed at a beautiful old bed and breakfast that was known to have had a serious haunting in the past. I usually don't love to stay at places like this because of how sensitive I am, but I knew that spirit would not direct me to go to it if it would be harmful to me in any way. So the first thing I noticed when I got there was just how quiet the energy was. It was decorated in antiques because it was an antique itself, and those always tend to hold a lot of energy. But I didn't find the energy of anything dark. I did tune in to the space and I could see some of the dark things that had happened in the past. So I very much understood where maybe the challenging things they were going through had stemmed from. But I had found out that they'd done a lot of cleansing of the property. But here's what I noticed and what you can almost always find. There had been a lot of trauma to the space in the past. People had died and suffered there. That leaves an imprint. And then think of others moving in, a new family with young children, being literally brought into the energy of suffering and death. So without the proper honor, those energies kind of linger there and begin to affect everyone. The people that move in, especially sensitive people and children who are so awake, they start to become affected and the problem gets amplified through them. I wonder if those people had moved in, created an altar space, and began to leave loving offerings for the land itself. And for all who had previously walked it, would they have experienced the same thing? My sense is that it would have been different. It continuously comes to me that if we don't honor the land or what has inhabited it before us, the energy, residual or intelligent, it can be a huge problem. Other countries still hold reverence for energies that can exist on the land where they live. For example, in Ireland, most people believe deeply in the elemental spirits or the fae or fairies. There are places considered sacred to the fairies in Ireland, and they will not build on these particular spots so as not to anger these spirits, which is then believed to bring bad luck. In 1999, a freeway was planned for a place in Ireland, and the locals protested about it. They believed that a hawthorn bush along its planned route was the meeting point for clans of fairies and would bring bad luck. So the freeway was rerouted. This is how deeply they believe in honoring the energy of the land. So again, if we take a moment to just consider all of the energy that can be tied to a space, earth elemental spirits, spirits of plants and animals, human spirits that may have not crossed into the light, energy imprints of pain and suffering, joy and love too, other types of spirits that may have been called upon by people who came before us, it's a lot to take in. The great news, again, is that most of these energies are willing to work with us and even help us as we honor and acknowledge them. So let's talk a bit about how you can connect to the energy of your land more deeply, creating more health and abundance for yourself, for your family, and the land in return. I work with the plant and nature spirits that live where I do through honoring them with an outdoor altar. Altars are places of intention and gratitude. They're where we connect to spirit. For my outdoor altar, I keep sacred objects I find in nature, sparkling rocks, pine cones, and my children love to find things that we place upon the altar. They have such a natural eye for picking out sacred objects. So I also have statues of deities that hold energy sacred to me. And the biggest part of it is all of the natural surroundings. There's beautiful flowers and tall pine trees. Right when I moved in, I felt this area was a sacred spot on our land. So that's where I began to build an altar, a place that worked naturally with the land. I have a few small altars in my home too, and I continuously offer gratitude and thanks to Spirit for blessing myself and my family. So for you, be open to finding the perfect spot for your outdoor and indoor altars. Let your intuition guide you. You will know the place. I bring attention to my altar by doing spiritual work there and by leaving offerings here to the spirits of the earth. Sometimes I'll use seasonal fruits or vegetables. A lot of the time, it's blessing smoke from sacred plants that I use. Another thing that I did when we first moved in was a journey to get to know the spirit of the land upon where I live. I don't usually say my land just because that feels like such a foreign concept to me. I wanted to guide you through your own journey in doing this today. It was such a powerful experience for me. I was even given a name for the spirit that we reside upon. Since the journey, she's given me guidance on how to properly care for our land, even how to garden effectively, what will support her and what won't. In turn, doing the same for myself and my own family. So let's do this. Open you up to the power of connecting with the land upon where you live. So first, find a place that you won't be interrupted in. For this particular journey, I love to be outside on the land to which I'm connecting to. Wherever you are, bring yourself something soft to sit on, an eye covering, because it gives us a blank background in which we can experience spirit, a journal and writing utensil, and a drum for you to use for yourself or drumming music, either to help put you into a trance state. But if you're listening today, I will have music already added to the guided journey. And remember to bring some offering plants, some herbs that you can burn. If you already have an altar set up on the land where you live, that will be a perfect place to journey. So go out there, light a candle, burn some blessing herbs. Right now I'm using sweet grass. That is a very gentle and loving energy. I like the idea of offering this to the land to help show your own love and appreciation for it. So burn some of that, offering the smoke and your deep gratitude. After you take a few moments and you start to feel like you're connected, you can drop into journey. So put on your eye mask and just begin to move into your breath. Feel yourself starting to connect into the earth where you are. Listening to the sounds of birds, the wind rustling through the trees. Feel how alive the earth is. Letting her energy radiate into you. That connection is always there. You just have to give yourself space to feel it. Feel yourself begin to grow roots. Long white roots connecting you even deeper to the energy of the earth. Flowing down into it. Feel the earth connecting to you even more deeply. Feel her breath. The earth breathes just like we do. She is alive. Feel your breath connect to hers. Feel your heartbeat and time with her. Continuing to feel into the land surrounding you. Begin to let your spirit soar free and move to a tree that you recognize as a portal. Portals are naturally everywhere, places where the veil between our world and the world of spirit is thinner. Find a tree and feel yourself merge into it. And begin to flow down through the roots of the tree into the earth and dropping gently down into a beautiful space in nature. Being greeted right away with the spirit of the land upon which you live. You may witness it as a human-like being or just energy. But you walk over to the spirit and offer love to it. This radiating love, emerald green or pink light, pouring out of your chest over to the spirit and thanking it for meeting with you here, now. The spirit moves over closer to you, acknowledging your presence. Take a moment to notice what the spirit looks or feels like. Ask the spirit if it will sit with you, letting it know that you are here to learn and to help. See that you're both sitting now on soft grass. Begin by asking the spirit of the land if it has a name that it wishes to be addressed by. Trusting whatever comes to you first. See if the land can show you next who lived on it in the past. Asking to see the people that once resided there. Getting a feel for how they used the land. Allowing this to flow into your awareness gently and easily. Ask to be shown the spirits who reside there now. Feeling into any elemental spirits, plants or animals. And then ask the land, what do you need? How can I honor you? Even asking what offerings would help to heal anything that needs help. Taking time to listen. And finally, ask the spirit of the land if there's anything else it wishes you to know at this time. It's now time to go back, but know that you can connect back in with this spirit at any time, thanking it deeply, beginning to make your way back to where you began your journey, moving up and into the tree, out the trunk, and back into your body. Taking in a big, deep, anchoring breath. And when you feel ready, opening your eyes and just taking a few moments to record your experiences. You may want to offer some more blessing smoke. Again, thanking the spirit for communing with you. And when you're finished, you may wish to walk around the land with bare feet, really helping yourself to anchor back into your body while staying connected to the earth. So to me, the key is that I'm always conscious of my land and the spirits that reside here. The animals, plants, elementals. I'm aware that even though this may not be where I live forever, I always want to leave a place better than when I found it, and hope that whoever lives here after we do will feel the loving connection we have formed with the land and continue to nurture it. Thank you so deeply for listening and for working to live in tune with the natural rhythms of nature. I will be offering a beautiful ritual and gathering for the summer solstice on Saturday, June 19th from 11 to 2 p.m. If you are in Michigan and feel called into working in deeper harmony with plant spirits and with the earth, I would love to have you join me. Details can be found on my Facebook page, Felicia Armstrong, Shamanic Healer, under my event, Summer Solstice Ritual and Gathering. You can also keep in touch with me and my offerings through my website, FeliciaArmstrong.com, and through Instagram through my tag, at felicia.s.armstrong. May you walk deeply in loving connection to the land upon where you live. Please hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the show, and if you're on Apple, please rate and review, and drop a comment on an episode you enjoyed. I'd love to hear what you're thinking of the show and hear how your journey to the land went today. You can join me again next month as we continue our journey into the magical path of shamanic living.